Curation Maps is a powerful new tool that is an extension to eLocker suite. The main purpose of Curation Maps is to solve the growing problem of content abundance within an organization and the growing need to share very large documents and files, design briefs, whatever it might be, with clients. So I'm just going to jump in and create a new curation map. To do that, I'll start with a new eLocker. So I'm setting up a new eLocker, in this case for my imaginary organization, the Ajax Corporation. Having created the eLocker, I'm going to go straight in and lay out a curation map. So the first step in this is to design some folders. So I'll say let's create a folder, general assets, where I'm going to create files, store files for the client. I'll go through and create a few others. And very importantly, I'd like to create a file, in this case, folder for the client, so for the end client, where they can access information that I'd like to share with them. Now in this case, it's very important, if it's something such as a quotation, that it follows a strict approvals process. So I can create a folder here called pending approval, and you'll see how I use this in a second within the curation map. Okay, so having made a few folders, now what I'm going to do is lay out the actual curation map itself and define a flow for how information is allowed to move between each of these folders. So having laid out the actual folders, now I'm going to say, right, files are allowed to move according to this set of rules. Of course, I can do other things, like I can change the colors of the folders, which can be quite useful and relevant when searching and retrieving information later, but for now we'll just leave that as it is. Another important aspect is, if I go and take the general folder here, I could say, right, I'd like every item inside this folder to be tagged with the word Ajax. Everything inside this folder to pick up the tag legal, for example. Everything here to pick up the word design. And finally, for the client themselves, I might have it pick up the word 2014, whatever. Okay, so having laid out the curation map, I can now actually go and start making use of the eLocker. So in this case, you can see I've got a whole range of new folders. I'll just go into the general assets and upload a number of files pertaining to this particular customer. So normally these files would be buried around the organization, not stored with any particular structure, and very hard to retrieve later. And also not very straightforward to share with the client. Usually many businesses simply finish up trying to share files with the customer via email. The problem with that, of course, is there's no approvals process, there's no tracking, and it becomes very difficult if you're dealing with very large files. Okay, so I've got a whole range of files that are now stored inside my general assets folder. As you can see, I've got a quotation that I'd like to share with the customer. So the first step in this process is I'm going to actually step it along the workflow. As you can see, the system is picking up the choices that I have based on where I am within my curation map. So for example, it's very straightforward for me to pick up any of the items that I've just filed away here and move them to specifically the legal folder. Likewise, anything to do with the actual design brief itself of the project, I can simply step those items into the design folder. Okay. The great thing about curation maps is I can actually use the curation map as a navigation tool as well. So as you can see here, in this case, I'd like to navigate through to the quotations folder, and it will take me straight there. So in this case, right, I'm happy with that. I'd like to send it off to the CEO so that it's pending approval. The CEO will get a notification. He can step straight to the item in question. There it is, right? That's happy. I'm happy with that. share it with the customer. So you can set very simple and very rigid rules for how information should move around an organization. A very important point is having set those rules and designed up how the content should be stored. You can notice if I go to search for an item here that the system is actually generating a tag cloud for me of all of the items as they've stepped through the actual workflow itself. So this provides a really powerful tool for searching and retrieving information at a later stage. And you may notice that many of the items here are picking up different colors based on which folder within a curation map they've actually being stored at as well. So again, provides a visual cue. There's many new and exciting features that we haven't had time to show here. If you'd like more information, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks very much.